let's bring in former chief of staff for the White House press office and advisor to the press secretary, Yemisi Egbawale, and Republican strategist and former Speaker McCarthy communications director, Mark Bednar. Two of the brightest minds in Washington. You are the future, I would say, of politics. So help me understand, Yemisi, why in the world is a progressive star like Ro Khanna stumping in Maine? Not just a tweet, but stumping for this guy in Maine.
I think he's betting that if they hold the line, if the progressive and far left flank of the Democratic Party hold the line, they will not be, in a sense, bullied by those of us on the moderate, more establishment side in pushing Graham Plattner out. But it's also attaching yourself to the idea that Graham Plattner has been honest with you, and surely nothing is coming. I mean, we haven't even gotten to a general. I think what's come out now is soft compared to whatever the National Republican Senatorial Committee and Susan Collins' campaign has ready. And I hope he's ready to defend that when it does come.
Mark, the sound bites from Graham Plattner, I was kind of joking. I don't think he can believe that he's still in this race. I think he's surprised that people showed up and backed him in Maine. Don't the Democrats risk emboldening this guy? Because let's say he gets elected, he comes to the Senate, he doesn't have any allegiance to Chuck Schumer. I mean, he might just turn into another John Fetterman and just do whatever he wants, a rogue Democrat.
Well, first and foremost, on the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, where thousands of Americans fought and died against the Nazis, and we're talking about a U.S. Senate candidate with a Nazi tattoo for 17 years, that's pretty repugnant to begin with. And so the fact that this guy, yes, he will, should he get elected, he'll be marching to the beat of his own drum for sure. But right now what we're seeing is that House Democrats, even in safe seats, they're saying that he's disqualified. Madeline Dean and Jake Auchincloss, these are solid blue seats, and even they are coming out to say, you know, this is not about conduct, like this is about counting votes. So there's major concern from House Democrats that's percolating up throughout the rest of the country.
So does the dam continue to break, Embassy? I mean, we still have a little bit of time. And by the way, they can replace him after he wins the primary. Where are the Democrats who used to shout, "Believe the women"?
And I think Democratic women are going to be a part of breaking that dam. And I'm glad that you brought up Congresswoman Madeline Dean. It's really, really important that there are Democrats who do not attach their name to Graham Plattner, because I think whatever comes out after this is going to be damaging for a lot of people and their long-term careers.
You worked for Speaker McCarthy, and he tried very hard and was successful in expanding the House majority and especially picking up seats in California. If you were a Democrat advisor right now, wouldn't you be looking at Jared Golden or somebody else to maybe replace this guy? You're nodding your head, yes.
Well, what's remarkable, so Jared Golden...
Somebody get him on the phone.
Yeah, Jared Golden, a guy that we just couldn't beat because he had a big kind of streak of bipartisanship to his credit.
So well liked.
We just couldn't beat him. But right now, so the there's internal Republican polling that shows that the Republican candidate in Maine 2, which is most of the majority of the state, actually, the candidate is up 10 points, and Susan Collins is up 11 points. So Graham Plattner is a drag on the ticket wholeheartedly, and this was in early May before any of this stuff even came out.
Yemisi?
Yeah.
Do you know Jared?
We're calling everybody.
They went to Jared, yeah.
This is an important seat, and progressives are dug in, and they risk this seat for all of the Democratic Party. It's unfortunate.
Okay, let's switch gears to what's happening in California. Still a lot of vote left to count in California. I just mentioned you work for a leader that won more seats in that state, the Golden State. If Steve Hilton and Spencer Pratt can advance, they've got 5 months to figure this out. What do they need to be saying to voters out there on the ground who might still be suspicious, might not be on board? Because there are a lot of voters in L.A. that don't trust Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, well, it's super interesting. So when I was Sherpa for Lee Zeldin for his confirmation process to the EPA, this was right after the Palisades fire. And every Senate Democrat that we talked to said that the devastation of the fire was because of climate change. And only a year and a half later to have L.A. voters shown the world that no, this is about failed Democratic leadership, you know, even with basic things about water infrastructure and clearing brush, et cetera. So the fact that Karen Bass has this low approval rating, this is an opportunity to actually channel that frustration and just keep it simple for both Hilton but Pratt specifically. Let's talk about crime, homelessness, cost of living, cleanliness of parks. this is what voters are, that's what's resonating with them right now. This is what they need to focus on. But of course, we need to finish counting these ballots first.
Spencer Pratt does have a lot to talk about, and he took advantage of that in the final weeks of this campaign leading up to the primary. I've been looking for a Democrat to ask this question. What feat, what success does the LA mayor have to stand on? Like, what can she point to other than experience? And I'm the most senior Democrat, the most well-known Democrat in the state. What can she point to?
Karen Bass has pointed to a reduction of homelessness, and others have pointed to the cost of that reduction. And the thing is, I spent 6 months out in LA. You don't see it. Yeah. And what Spencer Pratt says is it isn't just about the numbers and percentages. It's about the impact on your day-to-day life. And I think he's speaking to a lot of frustration. And so regardless if Karen Bass pulls this through, I hope that it is a knock and a shift for her in the direction of how she messages to Angelenos and how she hears them.
Okay. Yeah, Missy, Mark, thank you for coming on the show. And we'll check in a couple of days. We'll see who wins, who makes it to November. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.